it's Derek Kirkner with Daughter and Associates. Today I'm with Misael Lopez, or many of you might know him simply as Misael, because that's how you sign all of your
Yeah, that's how I sign my work.
He's a famous artist in town, and everybody's like, well, Misael, we know that name. Tell us about yourself. How did you come to be painting and be so famous in Vallarta? Where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota, the Twin Cities. I grew up there, and about 14 years ago, July 7th was my anniversary. So not too long ago, I was deported back to Mexico because I wasn't a citizen of the States. I'm from Nuevo Laredo. I stayed there for about a month. Not a very nice place, and I had heard about PV from a friend before. I never really saw any photos or anything. I just hopped the bus and came here and just started fresh. And I grew up doing graffiti and street art, so when I got here, I thought I was gonna see murals everywhere because it's like a very Mexican thing, you know, and there wasn't any. So me and my friends started from, doing graffiti murals on properties that we got permission for in the neighborhoods because it wasn't really allowed anywhere in public or close to where tourists are. So little by little we started painting closer and closer towards downtown to the point where we were getting better, and eventually there's a lot of tolerance now. They're everywhere. It's like every couple blocks you walk, there's murals.
More and more bursts of color, and more you see tourists Instagramming and saying, oh my God, every corner I turn there's a beautiful mural.
Yeah.
Which thanks to you for starting all that.
And all these other artists too. But I think there was about 6 of us that were the original people that were pushing hard, you know what I mean, that were painting a lot. Maybe a couple handful of people. But there was about 5 people that were like the ones that were going really hard, you know.
Well, that was the question I was going to ask, because you assume with people that do graffiti that you don't get permission. You just say, oh, I like that wall, I'm going to spray on it and hope they like it and keep it. So that's not the case you're saying. You didn't spray anywhere you weren't allowed?
No, I might have done a couple illegal tags, but even before I got deported, I had already dropped that habit in the States because I did that a lot as a kid. I probably did a couple on, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was mainly, we'd like a wall, we'd knock on the door and say, hey, we have a design and we want to make some art. And a lot of people, most of the time they would say yeah, but sometimes they didn't know, they were confused, or they were on the edge, on the edge about it. So they would just say no, but eventually, we got better and we had references, and it got easier and easier, especially as the word got around to get walls. So we never really had to go and do illegal graffiti or paint under bridges or anything like that.
Right. Do you remember the first mural you did here in Vallarta?
It wasn't really a mural. It was more of like a street art character. My buddy, actually, he lives a little across the street, but he had another piece of land over not too far from here, beside it. And we went in his yard and painted like some characters that were like ugly face characters. And that was another thing too, is that I quickly realized that I wanted to paint something that I like, but also when you paint public murals, there's a big responsibility in painting something that other people can relate to as well. So I got closer and closer to painting, more tropical stuff, things that have to do with PV. And even before I moved here, I was already very proud of my culture. So I knew a little bit about Mexican folkloric art and stuff like that. But I never applied it. So I started applying stuff like that, and it, I guess, eventually started drawing people's attention.
So who are your influences then, art-wise?
Way too many of them to know, but even musicians, for me, I've been inspired mainly about just believing in yourself. You know what I mean? I think that was my main inspiration. So I'm inspired by writers and actors and directors, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Musicians, painters as well, but I don't know if I had to pick one. It was probably graffiti writers that became extremely talented and eventually started getting contracts by Jeep or Mountain Dew, or you know what I mean, and those pay a lot of money, and I started seeing that like what I'm doing on the street I can make money with, you know, so I think that helped a lot. But also, I mean, I studied all the greats in their lives. I think studying, a lot of people study their art, but I think it's better to study their lives. If you want to learn about art, it's better to study their lives, how they lived their lives, and what happened in their life, and how they became, why they became successful. You know what I mean? And that's why I think I'm here, is because of studying people who, even if I don't like their art, but people, their message is inspiring, or the way they did things is inspiring.
So we're in front of all these spray paint cans. The murals outside, you use spray paint. Is that your only the only type of paint you use, or what kind of do you use?
I use acrylics too, and then if it's a large area, I just roll it because it's cheaper. But yeah, I like to stick to be as purist with the spray paint as possible. But I also like multimedia. My canvases are multimedia, and the styles kind of vary a little on my canvases and my murals, which kind of annoys me. So I'm trying to find a way to get back into using also paintbrush, and because it looks really nice when you use paintbrush brushes and spray paint. It looks nice, but I'm always like, I just want to get in and out. You know what I mean? Like and I love the spray paint. It's so efficient and it's clean, and it's not, you know, you're not dumping paint or anything or having to lay stuff out. It's like when you're painting with brushes, there's a lot more steps involved. So that's what I love about the spray paint. Is that it's super efficient.
Nice. And so people have recognized your murals and love your art and hired you, commissioned you to do stuff for their homes and stuff? Like, do you do like their garage, or do they say, can you do a painting similar to that mural that we could hang in our living room?
Yeah. I've gotten everything. I've done hundreds of jobs. So I've done like literally everything, and I've had every kind of client, which I've had a couple of difficult ones recently, which I'm lucky because I haven't had a lot late in the past few years, but I realize like that's something that I'm always going to have to deal with, because there's always going to be people that are different than others or have different challenges for me. But yeah, a lot of the stuff I do is like, oh, we want, you know, our living room, or we just want our bathroom, or we want stuff like that.
Well, if they want to find you, how do they reach out to you?
Easiest way to get at me is through WhatsApp. That's what I check every day, at 322-173-1918.
Okay, I'll post that up there for you.
I'm also on Instagram at Misael_paints. And my website, I don't know if that's running right now. I'm working on it, but it's misaelpaints.com.
Okay. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Okay. And what's your favorite mural that you've ever done, or favorite piece of art you've done in Vallarta?
That is a hard one, but I recently did one at the top of the Mirador, where the cross is, way at the top of the mountain there in downtown. So you got to see it? Yeah, that one was really cool, and I got to really express myself in that one, and I got to be a little bit more, experimental and daring. Because when you're doing commissions, it's like, even if they really like your work, you can't be. I don't want to be too daring, because then they might say, oh no, and you end up doing more work fixing it. But and most people won't say anything. But I like people to really enjoy the piece when I leave. So, but yeah, that the one on the top of the Mirador is probably one of my favorites.
Nice. And I know you said you're a homebody, you just like to stay at home and paint. If you weren't painting, if you had a day off and you had to go do something, what's your favorite thing to do in Vallarta?
What is my favorite thing to do in Vallarta? I love Yelapa. But Vallarta, yeah, like the I don't know.
That counts, just going to Yelapa for the day.
Yeah, I mean, that counts as Vallarta.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my god, Yelapa is not Vallarta.
Well, no.
But you can leave from here.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that's my favorite thing to do in the area, in the bay, is going to Yelapa.
All right. Next time you see a gorgeous mural, look down the bottom right corner usually, right? And it says Misael. You'll know who did it, and you can thank him. So thanks for speaking to us today.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
When you're in Vallarta, take a picture, Instagram, tag him. You're gonna be famous. You're gonna be famous.
Hopefully, hopefully.
All right. Thanks, Misael.
Thank you.